Hello everyone. Just wait for some people to arrive. So I'm really excited today. We have got Sophia Tranter on, who is a blogger. She lives in the local local to me, Kent area. She is going to be talking today about her content creation and how lockdown has affected her and sort of reflected on the way that she is doing her content as well. So I'm really excited to speak to her. Hopefully she will be on in a minute. Hi Sophie. Sorry, my cat's looking at me through the door. Here she is, so I will get her on. Is she coming?
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I love the pink hair.
Thanks. I'm really liking it, but I don't know whether I prefer it hot pink or like pastel pink.
Oh, I quite enjoy the pale, the pastel pink.
It's not as in your face.
Also, love the makeup. I knew that you would be serving a look, so I put on a bit of lipstick for the occasion.
Thanks. Yeah, I had to put a little bit on because it wouldn't be right, would it?
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, we've spoken before over like DM and email, but this is the first time actually face to face. Well, not face to face, but in person, sort of. So,
Yeah.
yeah, very much for joining us today on the Spa PR. So yeah, we're just going to be asking you a few questions really about how lockdowns affected you and your content creation and everything. So I think it's safe to start with that you used to do a lot of sort of fashion and lifestyle content. Do
Yeah.
you think that lockdown drove you to do more beauty because you obviously couldn't go outside and shoot fashion and things like that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on.
Oh, okay.
um, I definitely think lockdown had a big part in me doing more makeup looks because obviously you couldn't go out, you couldn't shoot, you couldn't meet up with your friends, pop into town, get some outfit photos. It was really difficult. So I do think lockdown did give me the little push to become more creative and do more with my makeup. However, has always been something I've been really passionate about. Especially when I first started, I never felt like makeup was Instagram worthy, and I did it for like a blogger if it wasn't fashion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think it's
Um,
to say that you obviously started with like sort of just not every day because obviously you love a bit of colour,
yeah,
but sort of like wearable makeup looks. But throughout lockdown, it's definitely clear to see that you've progressed into do more in like storytelling and more creative looks. And you know, some of them went viral, which is amazing for you. So where do you get the inspiration to do these looks?
um, well, as my looks have become more like a bit crazier, shall we say, especially in lockdown, most of it is kind of how I'm feeling. So I just put how I'm feeling and like my thoughts into a makeup look. So it's
Yeah,
normally how I'm feeling. However, Pinterest is an absolute lifesaver.
yeah, Pinterest is
um,
like
Pinterest is wicked. And obviously like makeup YouTubers, shall we say, like James Charles, Nikki tutorials, and other smaller bloggers on Instagram also, just like a variety. But most of them are like my thoughts and feelings and how I'm feeling at the time. If there's anything I feel like I want to get off my chest, I'll try and put that into a makeup look.
yeah, that's so amazing. And I mean, like,
Yeah,
even like the cut up magazine one that you did with like cutting up bits of
yeah,
the magazine. You've had ones with like words on you. Even the one you did
yeah,
yesterday about with all the clocks and like valuing your time and stuff. It's very like
yeah,
you sort of express how you're feeling through makeup. It's not just this looks nice. Like you have got the story part to go along with it. So that's
yeah.
really interesting. So how long does each look take you? Does it take you hours?
Yeah. It definitely ranges per look for sure. Sometimes it only takes me about, I think the quickest one I've done is probably like an hour and a half,
Oh gosh,
but
okay.
they can range up to like 3.5 hours, because obviously you have to get photos, have to set up lighting, a backdrop and stuff like that. So it does take me quite a long time. But yeah, I really enjoy doing it. So to me, it's not like, oh, I can't be bothered. It's like, right, let's just do some work, you know?
Yeah. That's what your time
Yeah.
one was about yesterday, wasn't it? It was like, it's not just
Yeah.
I put on a bit of makeup. Like, you have to spend the time thinking of the look, putting it on, taking the pictures, making sure that they're like ready to go online and stuff, make sure that you're happy with them. So yeah, it's really important that you do, you know, put across that it is your time and your creative energy that you're putting into it. So
Yeah.
what sort of are your favorite makeup products at the moment? Like, is there anything that you're enjoying more? I know you got the Nikki Tutorials palette the other day.
I've got it next to me. I'm ready to show you.
That's the blogger, the rundown.
Yeah, so this has to be in this like live because it's insane. This palette, Nikki
Yeah,
Tutorials and Beauty Bay collab. Then you've got all the colours inside.
amazing.
It's such a good palette. I've got it on today.
Yeah, so good.
It's so good because you've got a mixture of colours and wearable shades as well. And you've got a mirror, which is just a normal mirror, and then a magnifying mirror. So I really like the packaging. It's just a really good palette.
Yeah, really nice. So do you think you're definitely doing more of your autumn, like moving into autumn now? Have you got tips for, like, I know me, like, I'm very simple with my makeup, as you can tell, but like wearing a face mask, I feel like I have to like go really dramatic on the eyes.
Yeah.
Where I have got a face on.
Yeah, I have makeup on, I swear. Yeah. So what was that? Any tips for autumn makeup?
Well, just like, yeah, like wearing a face mask, like what would you do to make yourself look a bit more alive? Like I look dead all the time, so a bit more top tip for the eye maybe.
I think similar to what you said, I would definitely maybe go a bit more on the eye, maybe have like a bit of pop of colour, or wear a nice but different highlighter shade, maybe like a green or like one with like a tint of blue on like your forehead and like around here to make it really pop. But I have the same issue with wearing a mask. I literally don't wear lipstick. Other than this video, I was like, I need to put some on because
First time in about 6 months, and I was like, oh, look at me.
yeah, I was like, I need to put some on. But yeah, I tend to go quite light coverage on foundation because it just comes off if you wear anything too thick.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
So how would you say that brands has been lockdown? Sorry, I got a phone call. So would you say in lockdown, brands have been like wanting to collaborate a bit more, or have they been a bit hesitant, or do you think beauty is something that has just been able to carry on because you can just do it in the comfort of your own home?
Well, with regards to working with brands, personally, I felt like it was a struggle. I didn't work with a lot of brands in lockdown. And I remember saying to my friend, Louise, who also co-hosts the podcast, I remember saying to her, like, I'm not getting any work, which that's not me being like, oh my God, I need the stuff. That's me just being like, this is a crazy time. Like, I'm not getting any work at all. And obviously it's kind of like the best of both worlds, because you need work to kind of like put on your portfolio, and then the brands need you, kind of thing. So for me in lockdown, it was so dead. I wasn't working with any brands at all. Yeah, it was a bit shoddy.
Well, I definitely think like the value of influencers has sort of been seen a bit more, because they can, you know, an influencer can work from home and do a shoot or whatever, whereas sort of more magazines and things, they're having to hire equipment and people, and obviously that's the sort of can't do. So I definitely think influencers have been a bit of a godsend for a lot of brands throughout lockdown.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of bloggers worked with so many brands in lockdown, but for me personally, I hardly worked with any. I just felt like it was such a struggle. Brands didn't want to reach out to bloggers. Maybe they didn't have the budget, or they couldn't send out free items, which is fair enough. But yeah, from my personal experience, it was empty. It was dead.
Well, I mean, you touched on it just then. So you obviously, with the lovely Louise, started your podcast, The Chatty Edit, which I listened to like the first series of it. So like binged it all.
Yeah.
Started the second sort of series of it, which is very
Yeah.
exciting. Is that doing a podcast something you've always wanted to do, and did lockdown give you that push to be like, do you know what, if I'm not going to do it, like, now's the time?
Yeah. So I always wanted to do a podcast. I remember when I was at uni, I used to listen to, I think it was called The Girls' Bathroom
Oh yeah.
podcast. Yeah. I used to listen to that on my commute to Canterbury and back. So it's about a 40-minute journey for me. So I used to binge listen to podcast episodes on the way there and on the way back. And I always just felt like, because I can chat for days, I feel like a podcast would be so good. And then obviously me and Louise met online and we talk every single day. We have conversations about loads of different things. And I just felt like it would be perfect if we came together and kind of shared our WhatsApp conversations, but online for everyone else to hear.
Yeah, it's very relatable. Like,
Yeah.
I'm feeling, obviously you were talking about people who might want to be starting something creative in lockdown, and like your tips for how to sort of get into the blogging world, or if you just want to try and be an influencer or like Instagrammer or whatever. But you've sort of evolved into talking more about, you know, issues about like taboo subjects, body image, things like that. So what do you think the second series is going to focus on more? Do you think it's going to be similar, or you'll sort of go down different avenues?
Second series, me and Louise are really excited because we feel like we've got good plans for the podcast basically, and this series we've decided to start having on guests.
Oh, okay, fun.
Which is obviously different from the first series, because in the first series we were kind of trying to work it all out.
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like we've nailed it. We know what we're doing. We know the content we like to create and what we like to chat about. So let's bring on a couple of people. So like 2 episodes ago we had Katie Stevenson on. I'm not sure, she's another Kent blogger.
Oh, cool.
And then we've got plans for another episode that we're filming next week with someone else on Instagram. But we've got people in our mind who we think would be good to come on the podcast. So that us having guests on definitely makes it different from the first series.
Yeah, it gives that extra voice to something, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it opens up to a whole other audience, like their followers, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So lastly then, what would you say your tips are for anyone who is wanting to sort of start out in the makeup blogging world, isn't sure how to sort of stand out against the rest? Like, what would your main tip be for them?
So I would probably say I know it sounds really like a bit cheesy, but just do you. Because I feel like there is so much online, things you want to, just got to do whatever you want to do and create what you want to create. But also in saying that, I feel like you need to be different. Are you there? Hello.
Sorry,
Are you there?
Fine.
Sorry.
But no.
But yeah, I feel
personality and sort of be yourself, because no one else can be you, I guess.
Yeah, and just create looks that you think may be different. I like to think that with me, most of my makeup looks have a message behind, and I think that makes me different from everyone else. But you've just got to find what makes you different. It could be the colours that you use. Maybe you only stick to like natural beauty, cruelty free. You've just got to find something that makes you different, I think.
Perfect. Cool. Well, thank you very much. Let's have a quick look at the questions. I think we had one. What would you say is the best shadow colour for blue eyes? And you've obviously got blue eyes, so this is apt.
Yeah. I would say brown. I've obviously got a pink shimmer here, but brown, because it makes your eyes pop like a good one, and it looks really wicked.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I'd say brown, or like a brown smoky eye with a bit of gold here.
Good.
Yeah,
that's the
one. Yes, autumn.
Cool. Well, I think that's all the questions. Thank you so much for speaking to us today. Sorry about all the interruptions with my phone.
Oh, that's all right. Thank you for having me on. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for letting us chat with you. I know you were busy today. So yeah, if anyone wants to go and follow Sophia, she is Sophia Tranter _XO. Is that right?
Well, I changed it. I always forget it. It's at Sophia Tranter XI, but I always forget my own username.
Well, we'll put it up on our grid and tag you so people can find you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on. It's been really nice.
And yeah, we will speak soon, hopefully.
Yeah, sure. Cool.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.